Volkswagen somehow managed to sell out of their limited edition Volkswagen Golf R3333 limited edition $82,000 hatchback. All right, back again. It's CarQuicks with another. Okay. Hope everybody's doing good out there. It's been a minute. I haven't been over here in a minute, and I always say it's been a minute because hey, life moves fast. Happy Father's Day to all the people out there. Fathers, I said people that have children. Fathers, myself included. We had our day. It was brief. Definitely Mother's Day. We already know that. But I'm here to talk about the news. You know what I got to do. So, episode 21. Episode 21, CarQuicks, season 1. You know, this has got to be the season so you can keep up with what's going on. I don't know if there's a little bit of things today I'm talking about. I'm late to some of it, but you know what? Better late than never, okay? So I'm going to be here to talk about a couple things. Some of this news is already passed, you know, but I'm going to put my own thoughts on it because I got some couple things I want to talk about. I want to say. Let's just jump right in. Anybody that has a manual car knows that we're a dying breed. We're dying, okay? We are T-Rex running around knowing good and well there's nothing else to eat, okay? We got a brief period of time of some really exciting cars, GR Corolla, Acura Integra Type S, Acura Integra, Civic Type R, even the base Civic, Elantra N, Veloster N's, Golf R's, Golf GTIs, BMW M2s, M3s, M Coupes. I mean, a couple Audis, RS. I don't even know if the RS3 comes in manual. I can't remember. But a few Audis. We are on the brink of extinction. And BMW pretty much just threw out the full gauntlet telling people that they're done. So the next M2, the M2 that we have right now is the last one, the last manual. Matter of fact, BMW is getting so far away from the idea of you manually doing anything that they're getting rid of the dual clutch. The dual clutch trans. They said, get that out of here. We're done with that as well. So no manual, no dual clutch. The only thing that they're going to have is their automatic. And at this pace, I mean, you can guarantee that if they release any manual after this, it's going to be some humongulated super CSL limited edition $195,000 car. Because at this pace, it's over. Now, that's for BMW. There are a few manufacturers. I believe Ford said it too when it comes to their Mustang that they're going to keep the manual going. They're never going to take it away. Honda is still standing strong because the Civic Type R is a car that they are known to have manual transmissions on, and they will never deviate from that plan for now, okay? Because a lot of this stuff people said they would never do, and it's happening now because all it takes is a shift, a little bit of a shift in sales, demographic, whoever they need to do, EPA standards, government rulings on environmental things. All it takes is a small little thing, and all of a sudden we're going to be looking around saying, hey, we ain't got nothing left. But there is something later in this episode I'm going to talk about that shows that there's still some life left when we think about the future when it comes to like EV cars and things like that. And you know what? We'll just jump right to it. When it comes to EVs, right, this is probably like more of an EV episode because there was a lot of news in regards to that. Toyota said that their manual shifting EV is set to debut in 2026. Now, listen, I have no idea. One, who asked for this? I mean, kind of us, right? The manual driving people is similar to classic people, things like very nostalgic, right? We're like, listen, we like driving manual cars. There's really no way you're going to give us something of an alternative if there is no manual to drive. So that's a very big deal. 2026 is right around the corner, okay? It's 2023, be 3 more years, and it's going to be here. How does it drive? I don't know. Lexus showed a prototype of them driving which looked like an SUV, which is kind of also dumb, I'll be honest, because I'm like, listen, the manual people like myself are not looking to manually drive SUVs, really. That's not really on our agenda. Unless you're talking about a very sport-oriented SUV for the pure fun factor of shifting an SUV like a Porsche Cayenne GTS from back in the day. But other than that, most of the SUV buyers, even those that have manuals, they're like, listen, that's the automatic. I'm driving the family. I'm chilling. I'm not doing nothing crazy. So them showing it in the Lexus prototype to me is a little interesting. I don't know if it proves what they want or if it gets down to the people that they're looking for to do this. But I do know is that they're showing a prototype that's working. He was shifting gears. I don't have the video. If it's floating around somewhere in this video, it's because I found a clip for it. But he was shifting gears while driving. Now, I don't know what it sounds like. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of fake automated sounds and gear changes being pumped through the speaker. So you are going to lose some of the visceral experience, though. With the idea of technology and computers, you can shift the way the torque is delivered and how it feels with all software on EVs. So we can get to the point where you feel like the surge of you shifting gears, how it decelerates and how it calms down and then it accelerates again. There are ways to do this. So I'm not throwing out the hat yet. The fact that they're even doing this should be praised because there's a lot of companies that are going to say there's no need. We're not doing it. You get one speed transmission. We're not simulating no manual. We don't care. Even Porsche with the Taycan, they put a 2-speed transmission inside of their electric car for that pure factor of saying we wanted to still have some feeling. So this is a big deal. Alongside of them talking about doing this manual, the president or the CEO, I believe, the boss of Lexus, his name is Koji Sato. He said this whole manual thing has been his personal project. Those are the type of people you want in these positions because they are the ones that are going to spearhead something like this. Because honestly, you go to like the board of directors, I'm sure they're like, why are we doing this? How much money are we making? We're not making no money. Can it? You know what I'm saying? That's usually how it goes down. Outside of that, the manual in 2026, that's all we got. We got the prototype running. Don't really know much information. The big deal that Toyota has been in the news for was their batteries. We know EVs are here to come. Anybody that's against it, anybody that's hesitant is usually about the range, right? It's range anxiety. You got to figure out where to charge it. The infrastructure for charging outside of a Tesla is not that great. You don't know which direction you're going. If you just jump in your car to do a road trip, it's not as easy to just do that and go wherever you want with charging. So you got to keep all these things in play. However, the bigger the range gets, the less anxiety people have when they can say, okay, I got 600-mile range, 500-mile range. I can go a long way before I have to worry about charging. Or I can literally go where I'm going, turn back around and come home and charge it at my house. So lithium-ion batteries is kind of the technology that's out right now. And it's old, it's getting refined, but there's another level of battery technology that's coming that's really going to push forward where we're going next. But for now, in the lithium ion space, Toyota says their batteries are coming out in 2026, already have a range of 621 miles. That's what I'm talking about. See, we start getting into this 7,000 mile range, and we're talking big business. 620-mile range, I mean, unless you have a huge diesel truck with a massive gas tank, nobody's really getting that type of mileage. Hybrids can pull that or get close to it because I have a Toyota Sienna hybrid, and that one can get close 500. I've seen some people get it up to 600 just by doing a whole lot of tricks, hypermilling and things like that. But the standard is about 500 on a tank of gas. We start getting into the 600, 700 range. This one also better technology, better development, I could say. So it charges from 10 to 80% in under 20 minutes. And that's depending on the kilowatts you have, but it also shows you that we're starting to bring down that charging speed, that charging time, I mean. That's really what also stops people because they're like, I'm not about to sit around for 35 minutes every time I take a road trip somewhere to charge a car because who wants to do that? Nobody. Nobody's trying to do that. So I understand completely somebody saying, I'm not really down for having to worry about charging and then worry about where I'm going to charge and for how long. So it's a very good reason behind stopping or slowing down what you're doing. However, Toyota's breakthrough was for lithium-ion batteries, and that's in 2026, 27. The same time the manual EV comes, they're starting to bring in their batteries. Now, Toyota is a little bit behind, some would say, around the curve when it comes to EVs because they're very, very much settled on hybrids being the current thing to do, and then we're moving into EVs. But Toyota is massive company, massive R&D, so they're catching up incredibly fast to everybody else when it comes to what they're developing. The big headliner was what they did with their solid-state batteries. So solid-state batteries is the next iteration of battery technology everybody is banking on to very much change the entire trajectory of EVs. Toyota had a breakthrough in that technology where they got one of their batteries in solid state to run 930 miles on one charge. That's crazy. 930 miles on one charge changes the game drastically. It changes it for everybody. One single charge, 930 miles. That's more than your weekly commute for most people, unless you really, like over the road hauling or something like that. Day-to-day commuting, 9 to 5 regular commuting, almost 1,000 miles. That's about 2 weeks worth of full-on driving, and you charging one time. What's even crazier is that the solid-state batteries can also charge even faster, talking about 80% in like 10 minutes. We're getting into uncharted waters. But the waters that we are uncharted, we kind of want to be in them. 930 miles, that's at their top range as far as the solid-state technology that they have. That's due somewhere around 2028, 2030. Like I said, we're close. Within a 10-year gap of time, there's going to be some drastic changes with whatever's available in the automotive space, what technology we already have, and what is available to us. By 2027, though, their first solid-state battery will be here with a range of about 745 miles. Again, wildly large ranges. This is what we're talking about. So most of the time, if there's an argument against EVs, it's this. 200-mile range is weak. I mean, I can understand it. 300-mile range is like, okay, it's getting better. 400 to 500 is kind of getting better in the conversation where we can start considering it. But I can get when people see 200 to 300, they're like, I'm not dealing with that. Like, that's every single other day I'm either charging or doing something, because how you run the car and what you do in it also plays a factor with how the car is going to perform and how much battery range you have. You can hypermill it, shut things off, and do all this and get more. But some people, they're like, I'm running this car how I want to drive it. So if I have to dial down what I'm doing, then what's the point? Nobody wants to drive a car where they're constantly staring at the dash, looking at the miles go down, and they're like, yo, turn off the radio. Okay, we're cool. We got 1 more mile back. Nobody trying to do that. So to see the bigger range and the bigger batteries when it comes to these solid states from Toyota is a very big deal. I think personally, Toyota's going to be one of the main manufacturers that gets more people on board, especially if you think about their cars like the 4Runners, the Tacomas, the Camrys, the Corollas. They have such a large amount of vehicles, and they can really kind of walk this slowly in, but get their loyal base to really say, okay, I'm going to do this. Honda's another one of them. These are the companies that are really going to push it. Tesla has done an excellent job at laying the foundation of understanding proper infrastructure and what you need in order to service your consumer. They also do better when it comes to direct-to-consumer sales, because we already know about markups and dealerships, and it just makes it a little easier to swallow and understand what they're doing as opposed to manufacturers. So they have a lot of work on their hands to catch up to what Tesla has done, and to also convince consumers, hey, this is as good as what you have known from us for decades. But getting back to the regular cars, so Lexus dropped the new GX, which I immediately was like, this is the G-Wagon that's reliable. Okay? This is the G-Wagon that you actually want to buy and keep and not try to flip out of as soon as you can. Lexus GX got released, brand new design, completely boxy, off-road, body-on-frame, SUV truck. I'm very surprised they kept it like this, to be perfectly honest. I really thought that they were going to go down the path of either softening up the GX, tailoring it to more the LX crowd, maybe I don't know, maybe more like I don't want to say Defender because the Defender kept their look too. So I'm just surprised that they went as boxy as they did. You see it floating around me. It looks great. Now, I know this is another flying brick in the air, so some people are going to see it and be like, dude, this does not look good. It's very brute, right? But that's the point of that car, right? So you get a twin-turbo V6, 349 horsepower, 479 foot-pounds of torque, but I'll be right out the gate. This is not no highly efficient truck, okay? It gets 17 miles to the gallon, all right? I mean, listen. The people that buy this car were never really looking for hybrid technology or the most gas mileage you can get. The people that are buying GXs already know what time it is. So this kind of just falls in play. Give me the power, give me the torque. That's what they want. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, 14-inch screen as you see inside the interior, which I do like because this is very much a very upright sitting vehicle. But I like how they kept the dash very simple, very clean, very much utilitarian, right? I wouldn't think they would do this, but they have. Other features, premium, luxury, and overkill trim. And the overkill trim is really the big highlight, as you can see. 33-inch tires on a car from the dealership is nuts. I mean, it's just truly overlanding on the luxury side of things. There is a plug-in hybrid. There is not a plug-in hybrid. There is an electronic locking differential. That's for true off-road. You get 21 speaker stereos, a 10 speaker standard, wireless charging. It's a luxury truck that can just so happen to do a whole lot on the off-road. But let's just say off-road isn't your thing. You're like, I don't really care about that, CarQuicks. I ain't trying to do no off-roading. The only thing I'm off-roading on is maybe a curb that I misjudged. Okay, that's my off-road. They got the LexusTX, which is essentially the Lexus version of the Toyota Grand Highlander, which is their answer to the Telluride, the Palisades, basically, or the Volkswagen Atlas, all these new SUVs that have proper third rows, not these suggestions that are in like the current Highlander, or maybe they were in the original size Honda Pilot. Like these are longer wheelbase vehicles that can actually fit people in the third row. Not your children, not people you don't like. Actually, adults can sit there and actually take a ride. So the TX is another big deal for them. This is a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, 2-liter 4-cylinder is the base one. I think the base engine makes about 275 horsepower. The top of the range LX 500H Plus has a 409 horsepower plug-in hybrid, which is, I'm sweating over here. I'll be perfectly honest. That is crazy. 409 horsepower in the plug-in hybrid is a lot. So to see that is impressive. On top of that, you have 30 miles of range just straight off electrical. Like electrical 30 miles to range, which is perfect because where I live, that's like exactly what you want for running to the grocery store. It's only like 10 miles away. Go there, come back, not even using gas. 30 miles per gallon on the normal, 33 on the all electrical range. The trim levels are the 500, the 350, the 500, the 500 plus models. That's what gets you all the way to the 409 horsepower. In between that's a 366 horsepower engine as well. Not a plug-in hybrid, regular V6, 24 miles to the gallon, all-wheel drive on all of them. As you can see, the styling, I'll be honest, I kind of think the Grand Highlander looks better. I got them side by side, as you can see. I think it's because the grille on the Lexus, they try to make it very, you kind of know it's a hybrid. This very kind of sleek, blocked off front end. It looks better in certain colors. It doesn't look terrible here, though I still say the Grand Highlander looks better because it has more squared off, aggressive type of look. That kind of talks to me more. The Lexus one probably talk to those that kind of like that look where it's very smoothed off in the front and you don't see much when it comes to how the car is. So personally, I think it looks good. I don't think it's a terrible idea. However, this is going to cost a lot. Like you're not getting, the Grand Highlander's already in the 50K range. You know good and well the Lexus one is going to be somewhere in the 60, 70 range. The GX, same thing, 70, 80 range, comes out in 2024. The TX, I believe, comes out a little bit earlier, maybe closer to this summer, but equally not that cheap. I mean, this stuff is a Lexus. So if you're jumping into the Lexus dealership looking for Toyota prices, I guess you got the wrong directions because you need to go down the street. And in some random news, before I wrap this all up, it's like I said, it's a little bit of a 20-minute short one. Volkswagen somehow managed to sell out of their limited edition Volkswagen Golf R 3333 limited edition $82,000 hatchback. So in Germany, things sold out in 8 minutes. I didn't know that there were that many people willing to put out near 85 grand on a hatchback. But you know what? Given the markups I've been seeing on GR Corollas and Type Rs and Integra Type S's, I'm here to say that people got money and they got money to spend. So Volkswagen released the specs for this 329 horsepower in their Golf R. It looks cool. Like, I'm not going to say it doesn't. The color, it's in your face, it's bright. I like how it looks. You get the 333, insignia on the car, inside the interior. Top speed, 168 miles an hour, I guess, for the Autobahn people that you can go even faster. But, I mean, it's a cool thing. It's cool to see the last run of these because I don't even know what the future is of the Golf name. Don't know if they're going to do a Golf R again. Really don't know what the redesign could be. But right now, they got the MK8, Mark 8 of the Golf and the GTI and the Golf R. So this is kind of like a very special one that clearly, when you only have 333 options, I can't imagine it won't sell out. So that was kind of like the random news on that part. I found it very interesting that they sold out so quickly. Porsche 918 successor. I already did a short on that. You see it again. I mean, this looks just ridiculous. This is the most fire-looking new hypercar that's come out outside of Koenigsegg and the Jesko and all the cars that they make. Speaking of Koenigsegg, they took back the 0 to 249 mile an hour to 0 from Rimac and the Nevera. So if you're buying these $3 million hypercars, just know that if you have one on order, it's slow now, which is crazy. I'll be back. There's more news coming up. This is just one quick. I just wanted to get it out there. Some information I had. The EV world is changing. Listen, this battery stuff, they get this going correctly, we got things to talk about. Manual's about to be dead officially. Listen, there's a group out there on Instagram called Manual Transmission, the Manual Transmission Preservation Society. That's what I believe it's called. Yes. Go support them. Because we're dying. We're out of here. I'll see y'all around again. I got another one coming up right up from behind this. Do as you wish. Do as you may. It's CarQuicks. It's Cameron, your host. I'll see y'all around. Peace.